The crazy thing to me is bodybuilders have been asking for more money, better theater, better lighting. We're doing all that.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. Let's start this video with the Persian Wolf Hadi Choopan as he makes his return to the gym after a little break, post winning two Orange Classic titles back to back. Because it was a very long season for Hadi Choopan. First there was a pressure on him about defending the Olympia title last year, and everyone was on Derek's hype train. So Hadi trained super hard throughout the year to bring a better look at the Olympia 2023 compared to 2022 when he won the Olympia. But still, he lost the Olympia title, and then he walked off that stage. And that left kind of a bitter taste in everyone's mouth. But he was back in the gym the very next day, and started his prep for the Orange Classic 2024, doing everything in his power to prove everyone wrong, to prove to the bodybuilding world that he is still the biggest threat to the Olympia title. And with the kind of mentality that Hadi has, all that time from the Olympia to the Arnold, it was like he couldn't wait to get back on the stage. He couldn't wait to give the bodybuilding world a totally and a completely new physique. And the way he delivered one of the most dominating performances at two shows, and that too back to back. I don't think anyone is gonna count out Hadi Choopan for the Olympia. He earned everyone's respect. So these last few weeks, that might be the first instance where Hadi had the opportunity to relax just a little bit and cherish those two wins. So there is a much bigger challenge up ahead, and that is reclaiming the Olympia title, reclaiming his throne. And that isn't going to be easy, because throughout the history of bodybuilding, only one man has been able to do that, and that is Jay Cutler. Although the physique we saw at the Orange Classic Ohio, that was perfect in every aspect. But this is Hadi Choopan we are talking about, and do not be surprised if he comes in even better at the Olympia stage in October, especially from the back, because that is where he needs to catch up to Derek Lunsford more. That is where he needs to close the gap. So I see another great battle between Hadi Choopan and Derek in October. And these guys will most probably be number 1 and number 2 for the third year in a row.
Better theater, better lighting. We're doing all that. We got an amazing theater. We got 25 grand for the winner, 10 grand for the second, 5 grand for third.
Next up is Detroit Pro. And it's not any physique update that I want to talk about. It is the lack of commitment by some of the IBA pros who still have to qualify at some point later during the year. And chances are that the shows are going to be even more stacked in the future as we advance into the season. But for some reason, they aren't committing to Detroit Pro. So up until last year, we discussed it over and over again that the pros aren't being compensated well in terms of the overall prize money. And that is why we do not see big names compete more often. And honestly, we were all so thrilled to hear when the IBB made all these big changes about the prize money. And everyone was thinking that most of the shows this year will be stacked. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem like the case. And you can feel the disappointment in Fouad's voice, because Detroit Pro is less than a week away. And there are like 3 confirmed athletes who are doing this show. Mon Fitzwater, Godfrey Cho, and Justin Rodriguez.
People need to fucking show up to these things, or else it's like, why would I do it next year if nobody wants to show up?
And it isn't like they announced this show in 2024. These guys started building up Detroit Pro sometime during last year. So Fouad himself is a former IBB pro, and he is the man in charge. So I'm guessing he's gonna make sure that the competitors have a great time doing his show, and especially for the very first time.
Better lighting, better everything, black backdrop. So, you guys got to show up. Like me, Ben, and Paul put our time in and put our money in.
Next.
And,
But with the situation right now, you have to agree with him. Why would he put all this time and effort and energy if the guys aren't willing to show up? There are a number of guys who can still show up for this show. Rafael Brandao is in shape. Tonio Burton is in shape. James Hollingshead looks better than ever. He looks better than what we saw at the Orange Classic Ohio. So this show still can be very exciting if these guys show up.
Detroit, we have James is a maybe. Rafa's a maybe. Tonio's a maybe. And we don't know if any of them are going to show up, but we hope they do. And if all 3 show up, then we have awesome top 6. And the way James is looking right now.
Looks like he's getting ready right now.
I'm like, more shredded than I've ever seen him.
I know.
So I'm like, he better be with me. I hope he's going to show up.
And what's even more surprising is that you not only have the opportunity to qualify for the Olympia, but also win 25 grand. Because that is a lot of money. And also the second place gets 10 grand and $5,000 for third place. So even the second place finisher here is getting the same amount of money that was being paid to the winner of these pro shows up until last year.
Well, to me, it's the $25,000. Like,
That too.
you know, I mean, this isn't peanuts anymore. Like, that's a lot of fucking money to walk away with for one day.
I'm coming out of retirement just for this new prize money.
But it's
So let's keep persuading all these guys who just competed in Brazil. The third pro can still be one hell of a show if these guys show up here. Especially Tonio Burton and James Hollingshead. Because these guys also have to qualify for the Olympia. And they are already in shape. Urs Klaczynski is done with a much-needed break from the social media post-Arnold Classic. He needed some time to really not focus on content creation and just relax, take a step back. Because ever since he came onto the scene, and that was back in 2021, it has been a constant grind for him. And don't get me wrong, his hard work really paid off. He is most definitely one of the most famous guys in classic physique division. And not only just in classic, but the overall bodybuilding industry as well. Plus, he has been top 3 in the world for 2 years in a row. And although Urs was on a break, the picture that he posted, and that is a recent one, he is looking really good. He is so professional about the way he conducts himself even during the off-season, even during the off-time. He stays very regimented. He eats super clean even in the post-contest phase. And a major reason for that is his weight cap. He is a very young athlete, and he already struggles to make the weight cutoff even with the new weight regulations. And really, Urs cannot afford to blow up 20 plus pounds post-contest and then suffer really hard to get back in shape, to get back down to that weight ceiling. So 2024 was definitely a difficult year for him, because this was the very first time Wesley Weezers beat him, and no one including Urs saw that coming. Plus, he got beat by Breon Ansley as well, and that happened for the very first time in the last 2 years. So maybe he needs to change his strategy for 2025. Skip the Arnold Classic just like Terence Ruffin did, and focus on improving his back, his biceps, and his overall physique as well. Because this is gonna be the focal point of his physique moving forward. This is what he needs to work on the most. Because if he cannot do that, the chances of him fighting for the Olympia title, they are near zero at this point, especially the way Wesley Weezers showed up this time. Next up, we have a physique update of Sadik Hadzovic, one of the biggest names in the men's physique division. So the last time we saw him compete was at the New York Pro in 2022, where he finished 3rd. But prior to that New York Pro, he won the Pittsburgh Pro and qualified for the Olympia. But for whatever reason, he did not do the Olympia in 2022. We did not saw him at all last year. So 2024 is gonna be his comeback year. And he is looking really big right now. That is him at 230 pounds. Actually more than 230 pounds. The heaviest he has ever been. And he's still pushing. So if you guys remember, Sadik also competed in classic physique division. But the kind of talent that is emerging in classic physique, it was the right decision by him to go back to the men's physique division. Because he had a much better shot at winning the Olympia title in the men's physique division. So as of right now, he still hasn't announced what show he is gonna do next for his Olympia qualification. But I am sure we are gonna see him sometime in summer. And hopefully back on the Olympia stage in 2024. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.